At Rugby today, this is a place that we just have worn out over the years. We've been here multiple times a year. This is the room where we would meet on the Halloween get together and have a meal and go out on a haunted tour. Highly recommend that. We'll walk down the main street and film some of the buildings and then do a few little area hikes. So hope you enjoy it. I recommend this place to everybody. It's just a great little place to hang out. A lot of little side trips that you can participate in over at Big South Fork, just a few miles from here. So good place to plan the day out. One of the rooms that you can rent out and spend the night if you'd like to stay up here. They got a couple of rooms that are homes that you can rent. This is one of them. Theater. They also have storytelling up here. You can go in and small auditorium and listen to various storytellers when they have them scheduled. Again, just a good time. Everything's handicap accessible, ramps. Really quiet day today. I think only a handful of us up here. The old school building. I think they got some offices at the top. If you come up here, highly recommend going into each building. The library is a very fascinating building. A lot of originals. It's a place that a lot of scholars visit. Those of you that have not been up here, it started in 1880. A gentleman named Thomas Hughes In England, you got the English gentry where the first son pretty much gets everything. The second sons are pretty much left out, and he envisioned a community of English second sons along with Americans to create somewhat of a utopian community. It started in 1880. At one time, probably upwards to 70 buildings. Lots of difficulties, sicknesses, very harsh winters. And if you're familiar with this area at all, it's very difficult to farm. Land is not fertile. So by the early, around 1900, most folks had left, but it continued on. People lived in the homes, and about in the late 1960s, a young fellow by the name of Brian Stagg helped get a movement started to rebuild the area. The fascinating thing about this is that Brian was only 16 years old. So the lesson is, find whatever motivates you, what's your passion, and pursue it. Sad thing about it is most folks don't work in a job that they're passionate about, but you can use your job to pursue your passion. So what motivates you, what is your passion, and pursue it. Don't get to the end of your journey and say, I wished I had done something. That's a very sad thing to say. If you get to the end of your journey and you got regrets because you didn't follow a particular passion, Thomas Hughes never stayed here. His mother and brother lived here, but he came maybe a month, a year or so. He very interesting character himself. He wrote a book, Tom Brown's School Days, and in that particular book, the school they attended was named Rugby, so hence the name of this community. Several more buildings down here we'll check out. It continues to improve hiking trails, bike trails. Get on the website, find out some of the dates. When they've got various activities. Again, highly recommend the haunted tour. Also recommend the Old Timers Day that they have, where you'll see some very interesting things, the way they did things back in the day. Restaurant Harrow Cafe, highly recommend that. Eaten here many times. Everything in there is good. I like the shepherd's pie a lot if you're looking for a recommendation. Open Thursdays and Sundays. That explains why nobody's here. And the print shop, commissary down at the end. Nice looking black cat. Kind of fits the Halloween. Everything's decorated for Halloween. But highly recommend visiting. Gift shops, commissary down at the end. I think you will enjoy spending some time here. We're going to walk down to a couple of trails. One's called the Massengill Trail. It's an old home place that predates rugby. Then another trail goes down to the creek. So we'll find the trailhead and get started. My favorite building here is the Episcopal Church. It's just a beautiful structure. Every time we're here, we'll always take time to visit here. Very peaceful. Very beautiful inside. We won't film inside, but again, a magnificent structure. The thing about these old home places, again, this predates rugby, is the sheer remoteness of how people lived in East Tennessee in the mountains. Folks get way off the beaten path. Of course, this is probably an old road that went up to their house, so by our standards, we think they're remote. They probably didn't feel that way. They're connecting, making several new trails around the park, so got you several options. You want to spend some time seeing all the buildings in Rugby, and then you've got several short day hikes around as well. Go this way. Huge, massive hemlock along the trail. Lots of yellow poplars. Find them around in these low spots. Trail to the left goes back to the bluff line. It's okay, but we'll go up here to the home place. Typical of most homes built that time period, they built them on tops of ridges. A lot of them are built to stay out of the wind. The 1860s, the early 90s, 1900s, so they were here when rugby started up. I guess they were the neighbors. And basically nothing left. They've got a split rail fence around the old home site. You've got a couple options. You can go back the way we came. You can go around loop trails. So we're going to head back and then walk down to the creek. So the Massengill home place behind the visitor center at Rugby.